All right, everybody. It is Thursday, June 27, 2024. Welcome to the only show about Spartan Dawgs, hosted by Spartan Dawgs. This is Sparta MSU. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-host, Sedrick, Swerve, and Irvin.
Jay Strayhorn, what's going on, baby?
Hey, man. Hey, life is good. Can't complain. I got a little couple holes in my back, some arrows, but it's all good, Swerve. Man, you looking like you having a good time smoking that cigar.
Oh, man, I'm celebrating, man. My brother this week had a big announcement. I'm happy, man. I'm celebrating life, like you said, man. I'm just happy, straight.
You happy? Hey, man, keep it going. It's nothing but good vibes. Just like my man Marlon always says, look, if this is your first time to the show, we want to welcome you to the show. If this is not, we thank you for your loyalty. It has been a while, Swerve, since we've been on. This is the summertime, the summer hours. How you enjoying the summer right now?
Oh, man, my summer is waking up in the morning, training my son, getting him ready to go down to IMG, mentally training him, me working out, me doing my CTE exercises, and smoking my cigar straight. Huh?
Oh, CTE exercise. There's number one for you.
Yeah. I ain't scared to admit it, straight. I got CTE. I got ADEHGHI. I got man, I'm off. Shit, hey. I got it all, brother.
That running back life, brother. I know. I'm right there with you. I didn't take as many hits. I did more addition, but you took a lot. And look, man, we proud of what you were able to do, and we're proud of what you did.
No, straight. No, but one thing is different though. You got a big ass head than mine. So you gave out some. I had to take some, throw them to the ground, shit, and I wasn't strong as you. You know what I mean? And then you was bow-legged, pigeon-toed. You were quick to get around that cone and everything, brother. You did it. So I appreciate all the hard work you did that made my life so easy. That's how I became Swerve and Irvin, because of guys like yourself.
Yeah, yes, sir. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button and let us know where you're at. I mean, look, man, the chat, we were on here earlier today. Woody was on at 2:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time out there in Hawaii. Aloha, Spartan Nation, from Woody out there in beautiful Waikiki, Honolulu, all those places. I see Bradenton's definitely in the house. Bradenton's always there. Swerve, you're going to be in Bradenton soon. But listen, man, look, we got to get right into this. We got a jam-packed show today. We're going to get through this. We got a huge recruiting roundup to go on because we're going to have 247s on. Corey Robinson to talk about what's going on in Spartan Nation. There's a lot. There's some new commitments coming too. Like it's hot right now. But first, we didn't get a chance to cover this because we haven't been on for a while. But Michigan State grad student Heath Baldwin, man, he won the decathlon. Swerve.
Look at them biceps. Look at Heath's biceps. Woo!
I mean,
Heath, you look good, Heath.
Yeah, 8,625 points. What you know about that decathlon?
I don't know much, but I got a Spartan in there, so I know I'm gonna be watching. So now he get to go to the Olympics.
Yes, he's going to the Olympics.
Man, I never in my life I never watched a decathlon or D-Lon or Devon or Daytona or whatever it is. Yeah. But I'm gonna watch it this year.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Right. You remember Dan and Dave back in the day? You might have been too young.
Yeah, I remember those commercials. Yeah,
Dan and Dave, and then
so they do all the events.
The decathlon, 10 events, man. 5 in the field, 5 on the track. Ain't no joke, man. That's serious.
Oh, he'll Spartan Dawg for real.
Oh, all day long, man. They consider those guys to be the best athletes in the world. I mean, that's how you get on the Wheaties box, you win the gold medal like that, in America.
Here. Yeah, but you know what? He can do all that, but he can't do 225 more than me.
I don't know.
A rush for 4 touchdowns his first game coming out of high school. He couldn't have did that shit.
No, he can't do that. No. Hey, Trevor, we live and in color, baby. So go ahead with it. All right? We live, Trevor. So listen, Heath did his thing, but you know what I was excited about? Because I grew up in Indianapolis, man. My brother went to Indiana, but I was a Notre Dame fan, bro. You know that growing up. I always wanted to go to the Golden Dome and play in front of Touchdown Jesus. We did, but we whipped that ass, though, didn't we, Swerve? But look, we brought that thing back. The Megaphone Trophy game is back. Michigan State, Notre Dame. 26, 27.
Man, look at that. Look at that stadium.
That's beautiful.
You know what? I'm gonna reach out to Rudy and see if me and him watch the game together, because I was looking for him when we beat their ass in Notre Dame, and I couldn't find Rudy. I was with the band. Remember, the band was on the field. I'm walking through the band yelling, "Rudy, Rudy!" I'm gonna inbox Rudy and be like, "Hey man, I want to watch the game with you, brother."
Yeah, man. I mean, that would be a very fun event right there. Bring Rudy to watch the game in 2026 with Swerve, and y'all cheering for different sides.
Right.
We might have to bring somebody like Rico on the moderator. I don't know. Like that'd be beautiful. But talk about the NCAA, man. What they had a couple of big announcements this week. With number one, man, they allowed marijuana and cannabis products will be removed as banned drug class for college football's postseason and all Division I championship games. What you think about that, Swerve?
You know what, Stray? I don't like it.
I don't either.
You know why I don't like it? Because how society is now, these kids are smoking at an early age, man. I'm talking about high school, some places middle school. Like that just giving these I don't like it. I think that's bullshit to me, and then you got guys gonna be smoking before they go to practice, guys gonna be smoking before game. It's gonna be I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
I don't know how marijuana helps. Some guys, some of the skill position guys seems like it helps them soothe, the pain. But for big fellas, man, we can't be in the trenches like that. We can't be in the trenches high. It ain't gonna work too well.
Right? You're gonna have a bunch of red eyes at the locker room, man. Come on, man. All that smell. I'd rather smell like some cigars after the game. Man, I don't like it. I don't know what the NCAA doing. And Amari, both of my sons are my favorite sons.
Oh, there it is. Future 5-star Amari Irvin chiming in, asking Dad who's favorite. I mean, hey, man, them boys will be boys. They always going to find out. The other thing the NCAA did was they passed unlimited college football staff sizes for the 2024 season. Now, I know you got some background on this.
That's right. I got a quick story. So, Nick Saban, what Nick Saban used to do was he'll use like the camera people.
Yeah.
He'll use they GAs as football GAs. So Nick Saban was the first one with so many coaches at practice, right?
Yeah.
So if you go back when I was there in 2008, I was coaching, I was mentoring Martin Ingram. We were working before practice, after practice. So I was all into it. Like when I was coaching during the games, the running back coach on paper was up in the booth. I was on the field. That's why if you listen to Mark Ingram Heisman speech, he says, Coach Irvin was my eyes on the field and off the field. So when we get to the SEC championship, as I'm walking out, somebody comes to me and say, "Hey, you can't be on the field. You got to be behind the bench." So when the game start, I go behind the bench. We playing Tebow, touch the other Jesus.
Oh, you talking about Florida Gators?
Right,
Tebow.
right.
Tim Tebow.
So straight, I supposed to line up the punt returner. So Javier Arena's looking for me to line him up. I'm behind the bench.
Yeah.
Coach Saban goes off. Where's Irvin? Where's Irvin? So, he yelling, and then, me, I told back, man, shit, they told me to sit in the back. Who is they? Compliance. Oh, when I say he ripped into compliance, don't listen to him. Do what the fuck I tell you to do. Javier, boom, boom. I wasn't lining them
up. But so all that's over with now. So all the analysts and everybody, the GAs can get on the field and coach. I mean, we've been seeing that out of guys like Warren Sapp down there in Colorado for the last 6-7 months. He's on field coaching, and I knew it wasn't legal, but they must have known something like this was coming down the pipeline.
I mean, I think it's a good thing because, during the week, those GAs, man, they doing a lot of work, and I tip my hats off to them. It was some things with there I couldn't do because I come here to coach. I couldn't do draw no XOs. I couldn't do, only thing I did good was print the papers. I couldn't do nothing on the computer because I had CTE then, straight.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so all that drawing the circles and the X's and drawing up cover 3 and all that stuff. Now I couldn't do it, but now I can coach my ass off, but I couldn't do that part.
Oh, man, now they're going to allow coaches to do that. Now the next step is to allow those support staff members to go on the road to recruit. Now that's what they got to do, because that's typically who the kids have relationships with a lot of times. You know, obviously the head coach and the position coach, but I've seen it, man, where some of the analysts will connect because of their age sometimes with some of the younger players where they talk a lot. So it'll be good to have some of those guys able to go. Because I just seen something about Scotty Hazelton to Texas. We ain't going to get into that, but the old defensive coordinator from last year's staff is now going to Texas right after this rule gets dropped. So I think that, you know, everybody's going to implement this, and they're happy to implement it right away. That's why we're going to get right into this, man. We got to bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Rico Beard, right after these messages from our friends over at IHOP.
I love these pancakes.
Right this way. That looks delicious.
No, stop.
The night shift is falling asleep on the job. Testing came back. Numbers look great.
Hey, whoa!
Thank you.
Come feed your inner child and set your imaginary friends free with a menu inspired by the all-new movie If, only at IHOP. Kids eat free 4 to 10 p.m. and see If, only in theaters May 17th.
Oh, I should have worn a suit.
Hey, Stray, every time I see that commercial, I find something new. This time, the Ice Cube got eyes and lips.
CTE kicking in. Yeah.
I told you. My CTE let me see stuff I don't see the first time, man. I'm telling you, I don't wish it on anybody, but boy, it's rough over here, man. I'm trying to do good with it, you know? But I like that, man. I felt like a little kid. Like the kid is in me with IHOP, you know?
I can't believe this, man. I think there's a new one coming in the month of July, so stay tuned for that. But, you know, Swerve, you know, I know there's been a lot of talk saying, hey, listen, there's no need to get into this anymore. No need to rehash old stuff with the rivalry, what's going on, because, you know, the old adage is your friends don't need any explanation and your enemies won't believe it. But I'm not one, Swerve, you know this, to hide from anything like this. And I believe that you go the extra mile for the things that you really believe in, what matters to you most. And the two things that matter to me most is family and Michigan State University. So what we're going to do here is bring on 97 won the tickets. Rico Beard right now, who joins. This is Sparta MSU. Welcome to the show, Rico. And look at how happy you look right there, brother.
Gentlemen, Swerve, I told him, don't do this. Let's just move on.
This is moving on. But
Rico, he a better man and a bigger man than me. Because at the end of the day, for me, I ain't explaining shit. But Stray is a bigger man than me. You know, his head is bigger than mine. He a great dad. You know, he my mentor. But he want to do it. I got his back. I got the gun. I got whatever's gonna happen. Just know I got his back.
All right.
But Rico, don't hold back. Say what the people told you to say, and let's get to it.
This ain't what the people wanted. This is the conversation that we had privately. I'm gonna take it publicly. So let's get this out the way, because I got to get to a 707. So let's go. Just first off, Stray.
Yeah.
Why you feel the need to do this?
I mean, I just feel like there's a lot going on, a lot of pressure on a lot of people out there. You know, some of it being my family, some of it my close friends, and really the Spartan Nation as a whole. I think that, you know, this is an emotional time for us all. And, you know, it's a time of joy, and it's a time of some confusion for some people. And then there's a small majority of people that are trying to spin narratives, right? So I'm not going to just shy away from it. I want to talk openly about it, and you can hear things from the horse's mouth as to how things went, or how I feel about this whole subject matter. And then we put it to bed and move on, man.
Over 350 schools, over 120 some schools in Division I. How in the world did your son end up at the one school that pretty much any Spartan fan would say, I don't mind if you go to any school, just don't go to Michigan? How'd your son end up at Michigan?
Hey, that's a great question, man, because I feel the same way. I said to myself through the whole process, I was going to stay back and cheer for him and let him make his own decisions. One thing as a father, and Sed can attest to this, you know, when you have you're a father first, and you realize at an early age your son might have the potential to play the game that you play, which is a blessing in of itself. And then when you start to see, like, man, he might be able to play Division I football in that caliber, there's only one dream that you think of, because, you know, that's the trail that Sedrick and I blaze. And I blaze that for my family. There's been no one else in my family, in our immediate family, that played Division I football. So, again, a kid growing up in Indiana, I was a Notre Dame fan. I just talked about this a little earlier. I was passed up there for a guy from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, that ended up playing, I think, a total of 5 snaps as in his career at Notre Dame. I choose to go to Michigan State after that, right? Because that's who showed me the love. That's where I felt like was home for me. And I haven't regretted it a moment in my life, not one day. You know, the ups, the downs, and everything in between, I'm riding for Michigan State. I did then, I will now, and I will die bleeding green. Now, when you start to see that and you look at that, because, man, my kids grew up in East Lansing pretty much. I mean, you're talking about on the field, going to games, you know, in the weight rooms, man. I mean, they did it all, man, from being a little kid. You know, that's how it was for me and them. And how could I not, after being a radio broadcast, right, thinking about, man, I could call the games for my son. This is going to be excellent, man. A dream come true. And me and my son used to talk about that. But it didn't happen there, right? And when you start to look at all the other opportunities out there that he has, you know, my son is not a one-size-fits-all type of player, right? You know, this is a specialized position when you play center. It's not like linebacker. It's not like receiver, where there's 4, 5, 6 of them in a class. You know, they have offensive linemen, and he can play on the inside. But as you see the transfer portal, how it's affected the recruiting process.
Right.
NIL has affected it in a negative way. It's not in a way of people leaning on on programs. There's probably 20 players in the country, maybe that. That's probably being generous.
But straight.
Go lean on teams. Go ahead.
How'd he end up at Michigan?
I'm going through this process.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So when you whittle all that down, right, you start to see you have offers, and Sedrick can tell you this too. You know, they may offer, 12 running backs, knowing that they're going to take 1 or 2. Okay. And as you go through that process, just because a team may have called you, offered you, bring you in on unofficial visits, bring you on official visits, you just don't know. You know, it comes to the chemistry. It comes to who is keeping in contact with you the most. It comes to the best fit at the end of the day. Who does that particular player feel like they vibe with, who they feel like they can develop with, and who they feel like they can chase their dreams with. Now, for my son, he loved the state of Michigan. He loved the Big Ten. Look, being in Florida, there was times when he said, maybe I would be an SEC guy, Dad. And he loved Alabama with Nick Saban. And when Nick Saban retired, it really opened, it sent him in kind of a, oh man, what's next? You know, things happening with Mel Tucker, all those things, those relationships he had there with Coach Cap. Coach Cap goes to Alabama, but it's just different there now than it was before. You know, he didn't want to, he looked at, oh, should I go to a place like mine? Miami showed more love than anybody in the world, man. But that's the ACC, man. I don't know if you've ever been to a game there. You did a couple years ago when the Spartans played there. It was 21. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think we had way more fans than Miami did. Spartans took over that stadium.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's true.
He wanted something more. He really wanted to be in the Big Ten, and it came down to Ohio State and Michigan, And man, Sharon Moore was a guy who recruited him from day one as an offensive line coach. And then when he got that head job after this whole controversy, man, that was one of those times, man. That's what I've been. You and I talked about this. I've talked to all my friends about this. I'm like, my God, man, like it's rough, right? Because I'm seeing it, because I love my son, but I love my alma mater. Both things are true.
Right.
But I'll never love the University of Michigan. I respect what they do. I respect how they have treated him and the family and all that stuff. But trust this, Rico, and I know you probably want to ask that. You ain't going to see me in no block M's and maize and blue, bro.
I got those questions, but man, if you're going to take 20 minutes to answer each question, Corey's sitting here waiting. Straight. Okay. So from what I gather, he's going to Michigan because of the relationship he's got with the head coach, who was initially the offensive line coach.
Correct.
They cultivated that relationship. Am I putting words in your mouth, or is that what you're saying?
No, that's accurate.
Okay. So the biggest question is, okay, you told me why Michigan. Why not Michigan State? You were former captain of the team. Why is your son not running out that tunnel wearing your number and a future captain of Michigan State?
Look, Michigan State, and I'm talking about the staff. Look, Jonathan Smith got hired in November from Oregon State. And there's no question about how that happened. We're not going to get into all of that. We know the saga that started and happened there. He came over to try to turn around a ship that was really rocky, man, at the time. There's a lot of people jumping in the portal. There's a lot of players unsure about where they're going to go. You have to try to salvage the 24 class. He did a phenomenal job coming here and securing players that were in the portal and bringing them back for the spring, getting guys like Nick Marsh, bringing guys like Aiden Childs over. He brought the tight end from Oregon State, who was a phenomenal player. He brought the center over, Tanner. He brought a lot of players and a lot of coaches over that he had previous relationships with that knew his system. We've talked about this on this show ad nauseum, man, Sedrick and I. And that's where his focus was. When he started to turn to other things, it was the transfer portal. They went heavy there. I mean, they got pillaged again after the spring in the transfer portal. So he had to go out and focus his efforts in doing that. Jonathan Smith has had a tremendous job that he's had to do with these circumstances coming in as a new coach right here. This is not like what a guy like the Alabama coach just took over from Nick Saban, right? It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. This is much more dire situation for him, and he's done a phenomenal job. Look, the 2025 class, he's done a great job with what he's had to be able to go find players. He's very good. He's very Mark D'Antonio-like in finding diamonds in the rough, as you can see. We're talking about a lot of those players today. It just wasn't a part of the plan. It wasn't a part of their plan, and that is no slight on the team or the program. I have a great relationship with Jonathan Smith himself, the operations guy, the general manager, and obviously the two Spartan Dawgs that I know, Demetrius Martin and obviously Courtney Hawkins. I know those gentlemen very well. I know some of them pretty good. I know other ones really well. I know a lot of people around that support staff that take care of those players every day. I know players on that team, obviously, and the parents. They are doing a great job. There is no bad blood between us at all.
Okay. But you still didn't answer the question. Why not Michigan State?
I did answer the question.
No. I guess let me rephrase that then. Did Michigan State recruit your son the way Michigan recruited your son?
Clearly not. No, they didn't recruit him the same way. No. And that's not – they have relationships that they had before when they were in Oregon, right, on the West Coast. They didn't want to cut – it didn't make any sense for them to throw those relationships that they had worked 2 and 3 years on away to then come across the Rockies to the Midwest and try to start fresh. In my opinion, I think that they felt that they were too far behind on certain players. In this class, And you're not seeing the same efforts like that. You're seeing a more ramped up effort when you're looking at the 26-27 class. But considering what they've been able to do, they're turning into a phenomenal class for the 2025 class, in my opinion. That's what I see, irregardless of my son.
So,
let me say something real quick, Rico, because I was a high school coach and I also coached college, right? When I was a high school coach, I used to tell my players, don't go where you want it. Go where they need you. Go where they show you love. Because this recruiting thing, everybody gonna tell you this, they're gonna tell you that. You got to see for your own self what's good and bad for you, because you got to live it for the next 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? I used to tell guys when I was even recruiting them, I was like, listen, don't go where your mom and dad tell you to go, because guess what? You got to live it. They don't have to take no classes. They don't have to go on that field. They don't have to have a relationship with those coaches. You got to go where you feel like you wanted to go. And for example, my son was recruited by Michigan State when Mel was there, but he only talked to Mel one time. So when he committed to Notre Dame, he's like, Coach, I talk to the running back coach every day. I talk to the head coach. He had a relationship. So I say, son, hey, follow wherever you want. Now, did I want him to wear 33 and do what his dad did? Yeah. But then again, I said, that worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Williams, it ain't no more Bobby Williams there. It ain't no more Nick Sabans there. It ain't no that whole staff. So what worked for me may not work for you. And I'm not taking no class. You don't want me to take classes for you, because you ain't going to pass if I got to go to class for you. You know what I'm saying? So I tell them, son, just like I told my players, go follow your heart, because guess what? You got the blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I mean? It worked for your dad. It may not work for you. So I never wanted my son to blame me because they went to the school I told them to go and it didn't work for them.
no, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, straight back to your son. So I guess, what's your current relationship like, or your relationship like with this current staff?
Oh,
I mean, were you able to pull them aside and say, hey, look, my son would love to play here, but he's not hearing from you? Or is this, you just had to start over from scratch and get to know them just like everybody else?
I have to. I'm in a real difficult spot as a father, because that's what when you talk about the recruiting process, it isn't Jason Strayhorn, the broadcaster, or something like that. It's not the former player. Now, I talk to them as a former player because I don't want to be perceived as a dad that's leaning. I'm not coming off the LeVar Ball, quote unquote, guy, right? I'm not coming to him saying this is what you need to do for my son. That's ridiculous. That actually hurts the child when you do that. And that spreads around the coaching community faster than, anything in the world. It's like wildfire, okay? It's purely relationship based, and it has to be organic from the staff. Now, people thought, okay, you can pull some strings, but that's not good for either side. I'm not going to be that guy that's going to force them and force him to get together. That's like me finding somebody on the street and telling you to get married to him right now, Rico, because she fine and you got money. That doesn't work, okay? That doesn't work. So I need to be the father in this situation and stand back and allow him to go through that process right there. Now, the former player in me and the Spartan Dawg in me, I'm saying to hell with everybody but Michigan State. This is what we got to do. But I can't do that for my son. I cannot do that. That's not right for him. It's not fair. It's about relationships, man.
So you never just pulled him aside and said, man, what you doing? You already know where I need you to go. You need to go play for Michigan State.
Who, my son? No,
yeah.
Absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not. Can't do that. He knows where I want him to go. He knows where I would rather him be. He knows that. Everybody in his family knows it. I told him just when soon as he committed, when he wasn't supposed to. He did it on his own because that's what he felt. He was the one. He was looking at me crying like he thought that I was holding him back from his dream. And I told him, no, I'm not going to do that to you, son. I will never do that. Okay? Because you mean more to me than that. But just believe this. When you line up against my people, though, I'm cheering for the motherfucking green and white. That's where I'm coming from. So, yeah, it's a family. It's a house divided right now, but it's okay. There's a lot of those in this country. I've seen lots of situations, a lot more Dyer
So-
than this.
so straight.
And it turns out okay, Rico.
How divided is the house?
Mhm.
How divided is the house? Because now that your son has picked Michigan,
Mhm.
I know where you're at.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of the house? Which side they leaning?
Man, hey, I think there's a lot of people trying to figure it out. You know, mom is gonna be with her baby.
Oh, don't get yourself in trouble because you ain't living with me.
I'm saying she's gonna be with her baby at the end of the day, but she's a Spartan too. So she's got mixed. But I'm talking, I got aunties, uncles, godparents, and everybody kind of messed up about this, man. And they telling him the truth, man. Like, I don't know if I can wear the jersey. I can't do that. You know, like that's how serious it is. But I'm proud of him for being able to stand up in spite of all that and face that and go with what his heart is telling him. I'm not gonna hold him back from that. Cedric's gone through that. Plexico's gone through that. Musin Muhammad's gone through this. There's a lot of guys. Dan Hackenbrack's gone through. You know, Tyrone Garland got a son that's out there in USC. There's a lot of players that would love to see those players. Their offspring. Okay.
You know where I'm going with this, though.
Go ahead. Go with it. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, they're at other schools. Musin Muhammad's son was at A&M.
Yeah.
Your son went to Michigan.
Yeah.
Your son's down the road. Your son is at
down the road.
Hated rival. Like if he went to Minnesota, if he went to Indiana, I don't think people care.
I bet they wouldn't.
All right.
But I think they ultimately, you know, they have to know this. Like, I didn't just lose my affinity for Michigan State because he chose the University of Michigan. I don't think it's look, I don't like everything they stand for, but it's not a chicken shit place. It's not. Now, the last staff, you know, what happened there and all those things. And look, we vetted this deeply, okay? What's going on there? I've been on record here talking about them sons of bitches, right? I know what this is for me and what it means for me. But right now, with the new head coach, who was the guy that recruited him in his position, and in that position, he's had a relationship with them, and they've been very productive in that. With the resources that they have outside of the game of football, how can you deny that as a father? Even though it's the dark side for me.
No, I got you. Now,
so Rico, let me ask you this, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, Strayhorn played at Michigan State, right? But now, do anybody ask why didn't the coaching staff go after his son as a top priority? You know what I mean? Like everybody want to question Strayhorn doing this. He's a dad. But now, is anybody questioning the head coach or the offensive line coach? Did anybody ask them, hey, where was Kaden on your board? You know, why didn't you guys call him every day or that type of stuff?
I don't think it's them.
Said you gotta let me finish. That's one of my questions.
No, I'm just asking. I know because you coming in like you what's Oprah's best friend name?
Gail?
You doing your thing, Rico. But I'm saying I want to know if it was me. I want to ask the coaching staff because I bleed green. How did we drop the ball on this kid? Because if you watch his film, no, hold on. Listen, if you watch his film versus the other film and the competition that this kid is playing with and how he played, compare him to the other centers that you have and tell me why didn't we put the full press on him to try to get him? Why, if he going down the street, what did down the street do to win him over? That's the question that got to be asked too.
All right, well, Shed dropped the gun. I was going to ask that, but go ahead.
No. I'm saying I want to ask the coaches staff. Let's get the offensive line coach on here. You know what I mean? Let's get the offensive line. I want to know why.
It is not the offensive line coach. Listen, I'm going to say this again. I don't think this is a staff situation, guys. People are not getting this right. They're all thinking that it's the staff that makes an arbitrary decision. I don't think that these guys came in from Oregon State and looked at the talent pool that's out there and saw legacy players and said, no. I don't think that is it at all. I don't think so. I think they're doing the best that they can with what they have, and they're making decisions that best suit them because they have a lot of things that they had to plug, a lot of holes they had to plug along the way. And that's the fact. They have to retain players. They have to get players out of the portal, keep players from going into the portal, And then at the end of the day, get into the high school recruiting, man. And you're seeing it around the country, man. It is difficult for the high school players. Even the blue chippers. There are blue chip 3-star, high 3-star, 4-star athletes that didn't take official visits, man. That's a real thing. There's only 70 official visits allowed. And on those transfer visits, that counts against it. Okay? That's the thing that people need to understand and know, that coaching staffs are protecting those resources so that they don't waste them. They don't want to go after somebody that they just met unless they know they got a good chance of getting them. You know, if a kid is going to, you know, you brought up Minnesota, I don't know, you know, a community college, then it's a pretty, if you're talking about Indiana from a community college, they probably feel they got a strong chance of getting that kid. But if it's Indiana and Alabama, Indiana's probably not going to go after that kid and spend resources on him and bring him in on an official visit. That's how this is working right now.
Okay,
so,
well, speaking of resources,
yeah.
Did this have anything to do with money or NIL?
Absolutely nothing. Zero to do with it. I think that there is a unintended consequence that happens also right now. I'm hearing this from other dads, okay, that coaching staffs are assuming players are either a no-money player or a high-dollar player or a mid-dollar player. They're assuming this, and they're recruiting and putting resources and time in building relationships accordingly, okay? That never came up with me, my family, and Kaden at all. Never came up. In fact, you know, along the recruiting trail, I've talked to parents at Michigan that have said that the Michigan State packages are actually better than at the University of Michigan for incoming freshmen. So it is definitely not about money. It never has been, never will be. That wasn't any factor in the way that my family decided or Kaden made the ultimate decision. He didn't care about that.
Yeah, you better than me as a father, because I want the NIL. I need my money back. Shit,
but it's smoke and mirrors, man. A lot of it. That's the thing about it. There's a lot of coach schools offering, I'm gonna give you this, and then as soon as you get there, I'm telling you, by April they're cutting you down. So,
but you know what? You know, Rico, like my son right now, as a freshman, has 40 offers, but we don't have a Michigan State offer. And he told me that I would love to have that offer, and I did everything I could to send his film. But I know it's a marathon. You know what I mean? So I'm not sitting here saying, okay, we got 40, but we ain't got Michigan State yet. You know, so I'm mad. No, I'm not. But you talk about NIL, I told him I'm LeBron Ball. We want the money. I'll get somebody. They giving out money. We need the money.
All right. Last question for me, and then I'm gonna let you guys get on with your pod. It's a two-parter though. I guess you're the color analyst for Michigan State Spartan football.
Yeah.
Will this affect your job is the first part of the question. Because the second part of the question is, if not, how do you manage to go see your son and do your job on football Saturdays?
Hey, look. So there's a friend of mine, Jim Lachey, who's over at Ohio State right now, who does the same thing that I do for the Ohio State radio team. He's a, Washington Redskins offensive lineman. And he's got a son that's entering his 5th year now at Iowa. Jim hasn't missed a game at Ohio State, and we talk, I'm going to continue to talk to him about it. But I don't, look, with the way that technology is, and he's got a lot of support from a lot of people that are going to be there and being able to watch him play when he plays. But the way I see it, man, like, I love Michigan State, and I'll see you when we play you. And we're going to play them every single year. And it's going to be the first year, I believe it's going to be in Spartan Stadium. So I can't wait for that game.
So what's that going to be like? That you're going to sit there calling the game, and there's your son wearing maize and blue in Spartan Stadium. What's your emotions? I mean, I don't get a chance to talk to your son, but what as a dad, what is your emotion during this game? Is he the enemy or is he your son?
Yeah, I said it's my son playing for the enemy. That's what it feels like, man. I visualized this 1,000 times in my head already, and I just don't. I still. I'm like, man, okay, I can hope he does well personally, but I want them green and white boys to run through their face every time. I want him to lose. I want him to go 0-4 or whatever it is against Michigan State. That's what he needs to do, and he'll understand that. Maybe then, he'll see the dad was, dad is. He'll know what Spartan Dawg is. He knows what it is. He knows that, and he wanted to be a part of that, but he's not going to be a part of that right now. So all I can say is, look, man, it's a friendly rivalry within the family, and look, just because he chose that doesn't change my affinity for the green and white. I'll never, ever. You can crucify me, Rico, and nail me to a cross, baby. When you pierce me, I guarantee you're gonna see green blood coming out of my ass. So,
all right. So let's
about it. Swerve.
Let's test that theory. I lied. I got one more. So we're gonna fast forward to the year 2029.
Mm-hmm.
It's the final game of the season. Big Ten is highly contested. There's no more divisions. It's the best two teams to sit there to go to Indy. Okay. Michigan State defeats Rutgers on the final game of the season. They're going to Indy. It's his senior day at Michigan. Michigan's playing Ohio State. Where's Jason Strayhorn?
Rico, in that scenario right there, they would not be playing the Ohio State game. They would be playing the Ohio State game on the same day that Michigan State is playing Rutgers. And we would
that's what I'm saying. Michigan State and Rutgers and Michigan, Ohio State playing the same day. Michigan State is up to go to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
This is
I thought you said they're not going to Indianapolis.
No. This is one of the biggest games of the year. Michigan State wins. They're going to Indianapolis. Michigan, senior day, Ohio State. Where are you?
Senior day, Ohio State.
It's in Ann Arbor. It's senior day.
Mm-hmm.
Your son's coming through the tunnel. He's going to touch the banner.
Yeah.
He wants you and mom walking him to give him flowers. But this is the biggest game in MSU history. They win this game, and they headed to Indy, and they got an undefeated season.
Rico, you a motherfucker.
Hey, Rico. History to me. That wouldn't be the biggest game in Michigan State history. And that's a tough one. It depends on how that season.
It ain't tough for me.
Yeah. What you
I'm going with my baby.
Yeah, that day. Yeah,
I'm going with my baby.
That is not the biggest day in Michigan State history, in my opinion. That's not.
You
know what? He can always take a what's they call that? My CTE kicking it. PTO. Just take PTO.
Hey, I missed the game. I missed one game, Rico, when it was my son. When it was Kaden's first varsity game. I missed the Northwestern game on the road when K9 had an opening 75-yard touchdown run. I missed that for that. So I think that in that scenario, the bookend of that would be I probably would call the boss and say, "Hey, man, I'll see you in Indy."
Okay. Nah, just curious. All right, man. Get on with your show.
Hey, Rico, man, I appreciate it, man. You put me in the hot seat right there.
Yeah, he like Gail. That's his nickname, Gail for now.
Enjoy yourself, fellas. I gotta go.
Appreciate it. Rico Beard, man. Hey, one of a kind. Swerve. Hey,
no,
that's
Straight,
man. We putting that shit to bed.
Straight, okay. I salute you, brother, because you answer questions you didn't really have to answer. But I salute you for being the man that you are, and that really shows your pride in Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you didn't have to answer to no one. You know what I mean? Because if any parents out there and you got kids, you want your kids to do what's best for them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got opinions. You know, if you read the comments, you know, some are saying this, some are saying that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, I'm going to support my kid. You want to go where you want to go, go. You know what I mean? Now, if you play Michigan State, guess what? I hope Michigan State kick your ass. Why, Dad? Because I went to Michigan State. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you still my kid, you my baby. I love you. Go play where you want to play at, man.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's it. But I salute you, brother, because you did something. They wouldn't have liked me if it was me. No, you took the high road. You're a better man. I told you that when my CT kick in, I'm cussing everybody. Anybody can get it. That's why I told you I was ready. I had my guns and everything ready. Whatever you want to do, let's
No
do
guns, man. No
it. You know what I'm
guns.
saying?
No, it's all love.
Shit, whatever you want to do. I'm with you. I'm riding with my brother, man.
Hey, man. Hey, look, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. And so we just going to go right into it, man. I mean, listen, there's a lot of reasons that I think that the sport is on the rise. It's very complicated now. Before we bring on Corey, I want to say this. You know, Charitable Gift America. Spartan fans, did you know that you can reap even more rewards from donating to Spartan Athletics that you do now? It's a win-win for your dollars if you partner with Charitable Gift America for your donations. With gift planning services, you can get even more from your donations. Direct them to the Spartan Athletic programs of your choice. Receive Spartan Fund points for your gift and a charitable deduction for your contribution. Look, man, to find out more about supporting Spartan athletes, please visit cgaamerica.org today. Where we got to get right into it. CGA is a beautiful thing, by the way. We're going to talk about more of them in the coming days here next month. But right now, Swerve, we'll talk about it, man. We gotta bring on 247's own Corey Robinson, who joins us at Sparta MSU. What's up, Corey?
Corey, you mute.
Who got Corey?
Hey, Corey, you mute. Corey, you mute.
My mute off there.
Corey,
I'm doing
Corey,
good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, Corey, your phone was mute. Corey, your phone was mute.
Man, come on, man. Swerve, you got to talk about something. You got something to say about these commits?
Oh, man, first of all, I want to salute the coaching staff, man. We got 15 commits. You know what I mean? We had a big weekend last week, but I think we got 4. You know, we got a 5-star long snapper. We got some guys, man. So, you know, I want to salute the coaching staff for doing what they're doing, you know, and I hope they're picking the right people. You know, I'm just ready because I already put the mortgage up for the 4.5 games. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, baby, I'm with the coaching staff. I'm proud of them so far, and I hope we can just get it done. What'd you say? What do you say, Corey? What do you say about that, Corey?
Oh, man.
yeah, it's been it's funny. I was off this weekend. Birthdays
going on, man.
As off as I can be. So, but obviously I kept a pulse, and I got some reactions from the visits and sent it to the guys and had them write the articles while I was out visiting my son in Connecticut. So, and then obviously we got a great team with guys that work with me, Alan True, where he's got to be loving it because all these Midwest are commitments. So he's able to kind of cover that a lot more than he did under the previous staff, where they maybe picked a couple guys from Michigan and ignored mostly the Midwest. So he's enjoying it too, I think, keeping him busy. So yeah, it's a good time though. And going into official visit season, I said I think 15 is the number you want to be at least, like, because you're taking 20 or 22 in the class. So right now they got 14 on scholarship. The long snapper's walking on, and then he'll go on scholarship once he gets a starting job, because they have the good long snapper that will have 1 year of eligibility left when he arrives. So they'll redshirt him that first year. So and I think Michigan State's probably got 2-3 more coming here in the next week or two. So that'll get them over the 15 numbers, which is kind of what I always put as the benchmark of where you want to be as a program after the June official visit season kind of winds down in mid-July and guys make their decisions. So, yeah, and then beyond that, even you're seeing them have plan Bs and backups they've put out a lot of offers this month where they'll set it up where the guys at the positions that they still need, they'll bring them in the fall for official visits. So you're seeing, that layering, which I think that was the biggest question mark we always had with the previous staff, was they would bring their people in June, but there's never nothing behind that. And you're like, you're not going to get every guy you're getting. That's just not how it works,
Right.
So they're checking a lot of the boxes the right way. They're getting the class to the numbers they want. They're getting guys that they targeted and prioritized. So you're filling up over 3/4 of your class out of June. So then it's just a matter of filling in the pieces that you have left for the last maybe four spots or whatever in the class.
So talk about like these new guys here, man. Like we're gonna go back down the list. We haven't been able to talk about the new commits since I think you were on vacation for a while, and we hadn't had a show. But Aiden West, cornerback out of Maryland, 6 foot, 180 pounder.
Yeah, he was kind of a surprise. Going into Michigan State offered him late in the month of June, I believe, is when they offered him. He quickly set up an official visit, delayed his commitment, where everyone expected that he was going to go to Virginia, kind of on that side, being from Maryland, not that far away. But the Michigan State visit showed him that there's levels to this, and that Michigan State's a different level than Virginia and the ACC and all of that. So they were able to secure his commitment following the visit. He's a guy I think you can put him at corner or safety, which is kind of a big key that you're seeing a lot now with defensive backs. You're finding guys that you can move them nickel, safety, corner, because I think pretty much nowadays, like it wasn't like that when you guys played. A lot of corners were afraid of tackling. Where now, like you're not playing if you don't tackle now, so that creates more versatility to be able to put a guy at safety because he's not afraid of contact, or if you can cover, you put him at corner, so you do a lot more stuff. So he's that kind of guy that can check every box in the secondary.
Yeah, his highlight tape right there looked good. You know, he was physical. You know, I saw the one where he looked like he got beat at makeup speed, and I think that was a pretty good pickup, especially having 15 right now, Corey, with the Porter. Because you look at a team like Ole Miss, Kiffin going for Porter kids. You know, I was told by that was somebody on the staff. He wanted to recruit out of the Porter. So for us to have 15 high school kids right now, that coach is saying he got some guys that they want to develop, and they believe in that. So, that's a great number to have.
I think you have to go that way. I think you have to have – that's got to be your foundation. Like you obviously always supplement with the portal, you know, to fill in those immediate needs. But it can't be every year like Dion and some of those people where you're having 40 people leaving and 40 people coming every year. That just doesn't work. Like that's not how it's going to work. So if you can create a foundation, and the less you need to use the portal, that's great, you know, because that means you're developing your guys and, you know, guys are stepping up. But there's always going to be situations where, hey, that we might have this freshman running back, but if we can protect our butt and go get this guy that ran 1,200 yards in college last year, then we're going to do that. And then if the freshman beats him out, then great. Then we have two really good running backs. So I mean, I think the portal and high school, I think you got to put them together and like work then, you know, as a team. So I think they've done a good job of that, where I think the class size of this will be 2022, where previously you saw people in the 25 plus range. I don't think you'll see that a ton in with recruiting in high school now, just because you want to keep that position flexibility for the portal season. But 2022 is still, if you do that every year, that's where your foundation is going to be, is the high school, and then the transfer portal is like free agency. You know, you supplement your needs. But you look at the pros, like teams that live off of free agency usually aren't that good. Like you've got to develop your base and then you add pieces. So
makes a lot of sense. Now you got another corner here out of Sumter, Bushnell, Florida. You're talking about George Mullins, a 6'2", 170-pound corner.
Yeah, he's big, 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in that range, and just huge wingspan on him. I think he's a true cornerback right now, just because he's leaner. You know, he'd have to pack on some pounds to be a safety, I think. But like that pass there, like that guy the quarterback thought he was open, but as you see his arm length is so long that he was just baiting the quarterback because he knew he could do that, you know, with that size. But yeah, he was a guy that they've been on since they were at Oregon State. kind of jumped on him immediately once they got here, and then once Demetrius Martin kind of came, because he came in later, as you guys know. He checked the box with him. That was his type of guy too. So then they got him up here at the last weekend so they could have the last at bat with him, and he ended up committing Saturday on the visit, which he's the first one to do that all official visit season. Everybody else waited till Monday, Tuesday, or a week or two later, even if we knew they were coming. He was the only one that committed well in the middle of the visit.
Wow. I like his highlight tape, but I got to inbox him and work on the end zone dance. He ain't give me nothing.
Yeah.
You got to give me something, Corey. You got to give me something. I'd have been happy he would have just kicked that ball in the damn stands or something. Give me something. God,
he's from a DB from Florida too.
That's what I'm saying. I got to call him because he got to give me something, baby. Pull out the stick. Do something. Hey. But no, he looked good. He looked good. Got good ball skill, anticipation. I like that. I mean, he studied film there. Good player.
You can see that, man. That's a guy who studies film.
Yeah, he just got to work on his celebration for me, baby, being from Florida. Give me something.
Where is South Sumter at? Where is that at, my man?
That's a sad question.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that's upstate Florida. That's upstate Florida. We're gonna work our way down to Dade County, where the best athletes at in Florida. You know what I mean? But we're working on it. We're working on it.
Man, we're working on it. Look at this though. We got a Dakota McComb, Michigan recruit, the commitment. Justin Bell. He only 6'8". He's only 300 pounds. I mean, you can't teach length, and he's got it.
Yeah. He's a really crazy story too, because last year, I think, or his sophomore year. Yeah, so I guess last year, a little over a year ago, he was like about 6'7", 195.
What?
and now he's like gradually 225, 250, 280. Now he's up to 295. So like he's actually really new to the position. So where you see him, I mean, you're gonna have to get obviously the technique and the coaching down, just because he hasn't played the position his whole life. But you can teach him technique and how to do things properly. You can't teach someone to be 6'8", 300 pounds as a junior in high school. So he'll definitely be a guy that you might have to wait a couple years, like, which is not uncommon for an offensive lineman, just because he's so new to the position. But he's really intriguing to me just by hearing that you put on 100 pounds in basically a year, a little bit over a year. So definitely he's one to keep an eye on.
It seemed like he was watching the Michael Orr movie.
Hey, I think this is one that's right up Coach M's in his alley right here. This reminds me of the project he had with Talise Fauga, the first round tackle he just coached out of Oregon State. Monster player, right?
Yeah.
Just probably a little rough around the edges, didn't really play the position a lot coming into Oregon State. Here's another one right there. You got a guy, you said 195 pounds 2 years ago?
Yeah, under 200 pounds.
Oh, no, yeah. So,
he started eating collard greens and neck bone.
That's what it is.
I told Mama Hall, same thing I told Mama Hall. Collard greens and neck bone will get you where you want to go. Trust me.
It gets you right where you want to be. Hey, that's I think he's Dave Sikura's family. You know that? Dave Sikura, teammates. Yeah, he was a lineman too. Yeah. Okay. I think Dave came in with me too.
Couple family members from Michigan State. Yeah. So that was like a big one for him, obviously, and
love to see that, man.
I know.
He's been recruited since he was a little kid to come to Michigan State. Yeah. Good to see him. Man. Hey, then we got Cal Thrush, 6'4", 230-pound defensive end from Upper Arlington, Columbus in Ohio.
Yeah, I think we got him at 6'4", 250 now.
250?
Yeah. So he's one that I like. If you watch this tape, you can tell his dad played for Ohio State and his uncle played for Ohio State.
Oh, so this is a double legacy Ohio State legacy.
Yeah, and when you watch his tape, see how he did that with his hands to create separation from the lineman. I just see a lot of high football IQ in his tape, which is not a lot of guys have that. They usually just out athlete guys. Where you can tell he's been he grew up in a football family and really learned how to do it. He's the guy that I probably bug Allen the most to bump his rating up, because I think he's going to be a guy that's going to really get to the college level and shine, just because just everything you see. And then when you see him in person, like his wingspan and everything, he just looks even bigger in person than the 6'4", 250. So yeah, he's one that I like a lot more than his ranking.
He looks a lot like a player we had in the D'Antonio era by the name of Marcus Rush. You remember Marcus?
Yeah.
Kind of gets that look, Marcus Rush.
Yeah.
Cal Thrush, Marcus Rush. Ohio kids. I don't know, man. Hey.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
We love to go stealing from the Buckeyes. We love that. Look, so, there's a cool bat signal. A lot of coaches are doing bat signals around the country. Some are decent, some are pretty good, but I don't think anybody's is better than Jonathan Smith's bat signal. Do we have that queued up? This is something that signals when there's a commitment that just happened. It's on his social media, right? You'll see it on Twitter, Instagram. Yeah. That's sweet. That's sweet.
Generally before the commitment. And then, I don't know, did you guys have tape on the newest commit that committed tonight at 6:30?
That's what we're talking about, the bat signal.
Derek Simmons.
Yeah, talk about it.
He's another one I like a lot. He's out of Frankenmuth, which obviously they haven't produced a lot of power forward guys. I'm not thinking, but just like when you see his tape, just the power and the get off the line is a lot different. Like, I mean, that's a defensive tackle pouncing like that, and
Frankenmuth.
Good, yeah, Frankenmuth. So we'll go hit Bronner's after watching the game. This fall. But yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's a guy that kind of reminds me of Jarrell Worthy out of high school, where he's kind of that 3-star, but you see how low he stays and the get off he has off the line and just the power transfer that he does. Allen was really good. Allen found him way quicker than any of the other sites, and we got him ranked pretty high already. And he's a guy that I think is going to have a senior year that's going to really vault him into that 4-star range. But yeah, that's another huge pickup, a top guy that they wanted, and we actually gave him that one because we knew about him being a Frankenmuth kind of hidden. So like that's a name that it's like, hey, just check this guy out. If you like him, you like him. If you don't, and they ended up offering him, and now he's committed. So another big one for him.
Hey, Corey, who was that kid that looked to cut up that just walked through the screen in the back? What grade is he in? We need he got some muscles and stuff. We need that.
Yeah, he just graduated. That's my stepson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so he's about ready to head. He just finished high school. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, we get him to walk on. We get him to walk. Let me call Smith.
Hey Corey, we know you're not a lineman because you said go to Bronner's and Frankenmuth, man. We're Zenders, man. All you get chicken. That's where that chicken's at. I swear, I don't know if you ever been down there.
Not yet.
That's where we used to always go, on the weekends, hang out, get all you can eat chicken up there at Zender. Hey, Frankenmuth is great. $25. There it is. $25 chicken.
If it was $25 straight, all you can eat, they would have kicked me out. Because if they'd have opened up at 12, they'd have closed at 8. I would have been there from 12 to 8.
You leave now. Hey, Corey, man, always a pleasure to have you on, man. I know there's going to be some more exciting commitments. It's a quiet period right now in recruiting, right? So when does that open back up? How does that work?
Last week of July, they open it back up. So then everybody has their barbecues or whatever like that. So Michigan State will host a lot of, probably the commits will probably jump up there, and then a lot of 26s and 27s, and so that'll keep us busy. So I mean, yeah, we never really stop. Like, I mean, it might be the dead period right now, but as you guys see, there's 5 commitments in the last 3 days, a couple more coming in the next couple days, a week or so. So I mean, and that never really stops. And then you start factoring in who's coming up on the last week of July and kind of getting that list together. And so yeah, never sleep in this thing, but I would say mid-July through mid-August is kind of, if there's a little bit of catching your breath, it's then. So definitely definitely been exciting though, but I think the staff's doing well. The staff with me is doing well. So it almost felt like as action packed as it was, like I had more energy this year than I've had. So I think everything's working out good for everyone. So
hey man, I'm glad,
ready to keep rolling.
I'm glad that they got you in the background working, man, and keeping contact with the great players and getting those great finds in places that people may not see all the time, man. So doing what you're doing, Corey. Always a pleasure to have you on. This is Sparta MSU, and don't be a stranger. We'll see you soon, man.
All right, see you guys later. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Corey. See you next time, Corey.
Come on, man. Corey Robinson, man. Hey, he's the guy. Swerve. A lot of stuff going on today. I know you at the cigar bar or somewhere outside, man, and special thanks today for Rico coming on the show and doing what he did. And obviously, Corey Robinson. Final thoughts from you before we special program. We are off next week. It's the 4th of July holiday. Everybody spend it with your families. We're going to put some stuff out. I'm sure we're going to have some money ball clips and a lot of things that we're going to be doing and getting prepared for this football season that's upcoming. But enjoy next week, and we'll see you the following week. But Swerve, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Now, I saw in the comments, Rail T tell you to you. Yeah, Real, I keep my scrap, man. I was reading my comments on my brother, man. I had to make sure I had my scrap with me just in case, anything went down. I was ready to go down with it. But my final comments is, man, just I salute you, brother. I salute you, man. You got a big heart. You're a hell of a dad, man. You hell of a family, beautiful family. But I was seeing some of them pictures when them kids were little. When I see Kaden and them, they had their daddy head. Yeah. When they look like they was 6 or 7 years old, damn, they whoa, look at the head on him. Yeah.
Hey,
but at the end of the day, man, I salute you, man. And like I say, the staff, salute the staff too. They're doing a hell of a job. And if you look at how they recruit, that's a great picture right there. Ooh, whoa. Yeah.
He ain't dead yet, bro.
Head and head. That's their new name for me. Head and head. Woo, look at that head. Woo!
Look at that. In the weight room, man.
Oh, man, that's a good picture, man.
Oh, man. Hey, man, look.
But, I salute the staff, man. If you look at it, you got kids from Maryland. You got kids from Florida. You got kids from Texas. You got kids from the West Coast. So they doing kids from the Midwest. So they doing a hell of a job, man. And I see he want to develop these guys and get his own guys. And, hey, let's go green, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, haven't heard anything but positive vibes about Jonathan Smith around the country. I know you go around the country too, Swerve, with your son and talking to the contacts you have all over the place. When you bring up Jonathan Smith, man, it is nothing but respect. I'm telling you, I haven't heard nothing but, hey, that's one hell of a coach that you guys got at Michigan State. That's all we hear, man. Can't wait to see him perform out there and call that game when we open up in a few short weeks away. We're getting there. So right now, enjoy the time with your families, everybody. And thank you for tuning in. For Sedrick, Irvin, this is Sparta MSU. Have a good night. God bless you, and go green.
Go white.